Alright, so we took a look at the basics in our blueprint. I'm going to close this out. And back in our Unreal Editor, what we're going to do is we're going to create the X and the O's for our Unreal scene. So here in our puzzle BP, we have blueprints, maps, tutorials. I'm going to create our X and O out here. Now you'll notice a couple things. Here's geometry, and as we drag that out, this is actually a box brush, and it's a way of, let's hit F to focus on this. Um, it's a pre-made modeling tool that Unreal uses. It is not a static mesh, so you can see here I can select these individual faces and I can apply different material to them. So it's sort of the modeling tool within Unreal. If I go up here and I go to basic, for example, these are actually static meshes. This is like a model coming out of Maya. So now that I have this in here, I'm going to go ahead and move its location to the center of the world by typing in 0, 0, 0. I'm going to hit F again to focus. And I'm going to go ahead and make under the brush settings, not up here in the transform settings, but under brush settings down here for X, I'm going to make this 230. And for Y, I'm going to make it 30. And I'm going to do the same for Z. And let's go ahead and hit F to focus. So something like this. I also need to give it a slight angle of 45 degrees. So I'm going to do that up here in the rotation. So 45. Now what's interesting is if you hold Alt, you can duplicate it. So I'm going to move it back on 0. And all I want to do here on this second one is type minus 45. And you can see now we have our X. I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way. Now up here with both of them selected, so I'm going to hit my box brush here. I'm going to hold Shift and select both of these. I want to create a static mesh. So let's go to, let's see, here's our detail panel. And it looks like I have to expand this here. There we go, create static mesh. Now where I want to put this is, you can see here under puzzle BP, I'm going to select that, and then I'm going to just name this X static mesh. And hit create static mesh, and you'll see that it now appears in here. And as I click off, you'll now notice that it's no longer a brush, it's a static mesh. Let's delete that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the same thing, but this time I'm going to grab a cylinder. I'm going to drop that into my scene. Let's zero this out too. Okay. Now notice that I actually grabbed this and I didn't grab a brush. I want to grab a brush, so let's go back down to geometry, grab our cylinder. Let's hit F to focus. There we go. You can increase the sides here to make it a little bit smoother. So something like this. And let's go to our divisions section. So let's bring this. And so we have here Z-axis. So notice that when I change this to 30, it adjusts the height, right? Let's actually make this 0 to center in our world. And then it says outer radius. If I change this to 100, it scales it down. Let's focus on that by pressing F. I'm going to go ahead and hit Alt again. Just shift it off, let go, and then just shift it back. Make sure it's all on 0. And then I'm just going to make the radius of this one 50. Actually, let's do 70. Make it a little bigger. Now with this selected, notice that there's, let's see, convert actor. No, you know what I'm looking for is brush type subtractive. And now we can cut away. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to select that cylinder and this cylinder. Oops. This cylinder and this cylinder brush here. Same thing, create static mesh. BP puzzle. And I'm just going to make it O static mesh. And I'm going to hit create static mesh here. See, we have our X and our O. I'm going to go ahead and delete our O static mesh from here. And I'm going to right click in here. I'm going to go to create material. Up here, sorry, material. And I'm going to name this um, red MTRL for material. Let's go inside of this. I'm going to right click and go create a constant vector 3, and I'm just going to link this to the basic color, go inside of here, make this red, hit OK. It looks like a pink. Let's do more red. Let's see if I can, it's a little bit better. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to save that, and I'm going to close this out. You'll see that it's now red. Now if you want to apply this, you can select one of your meshes in here. So for example, here's our O. So we want that to be red. Notice up top there's an element 0 here. I can drag and drop that. And now when I delete this from here, let's see. Actually, did that stick? I don't think it's stuck. Let's try that again. Actually, you know what? Let's see. I think I have to do it in here. So I'm going to double click this guy. There we go. And you'll see here that we have a material slot. So I'm going to drag this into this material slot. There we go. Now you'll see that it applied it. So I think that's good for this video.